he said there's no force coming from abroad, whether it's the Kenyans, Jamaicans, Americans, whoever, that are going to change Haiti. The Americans have proved that already with...
Chaque 10 policiers, il y a 8 qui sont dans gang, il y a 8 qui sont volés.
He said for every 10 police officers, he said there 8 of them are in gangs, 8 of them are criminals and thieves, stealing.
Yeah. Welcome back to my channel, guys. My YouTube channel name is its_Kisaka, so pleased to have you back on this channel. If this is your first time, kindly do me a favor by subscribing to this channel, and also remember to share this video out and leave your swift comment. To my channel subscribers, I appreciate for always coming back to watch my videos. Guys, there's trouble in Haiti. You know, the gangs have been terrorizing people, doing great havoc. Recently, in an interview by DW and some other interviews that I've compiled, it has come clearly that the gangs are devising different strategies to stay afloat, to stay relevant. Also, one of the gang leaders, Barbecue, has been saying over and over that the forces that are there, the peacekeeping forces that are there, the Jamaicans, the Kenyans, and Belize, they can't help out the situation. He is calling for dialogue. He only says that the only thing that can end all this menace is dialogue.
Yeah, he said that the police here are corrupt. Dis ça encore?
Sur chaque 10 policiers, il y a 8 qui sont dans gang, il y a 8 qui sont volés.
He said for every 10 police officers, he said there 8 of them are in gangs, 8 of them are criminals and thieves, stealing.
Yeah.
You know?
So la police participe dans fait kidnapping dans pays.
He said they participate in kidnapping.
La police dans voler marchandises moun.
They're involved in stealing the merchandise of people.
La police dans disparaître moun pour faire trafic organes.
Yeah, they're involved in taking people and trafficking their organs.
La police dans vendre drogue.
They sell drugs.
From
the biggest chiefs all the way down to the lowest. Jimmy always says this: unless there's a dialogue, unless Haitians can come sit at the table, you know, he's forced the hand of everybody, the international community, the politicians, the oligarchs. They're going to have to sit with them, or nothing's going to change. It's going to stay status quo. He said the only thing that can take Haiti out of its current crisis is dialogue. And you'll never get that. You'll never get that from Western media. Okay, he said there's no force coming from abroad, whether it's the Kenyans, Jamaicans, Americans, whoever, that are going to change Haiti. The Americans have proved that already with intervention after intervention. He said since Ariel Henry was deposed, that he's been saying that over and over and over. The only thing that can take Haiti out of its current crisis is dialogue. Sitting at the table, everybody, the poor black Haitians, along with the rich light-skinned one. You come from a big country, the United States, where there's justice, right? Justice is you can't ever stand on anything and call it the truth without it being proved one way or the other, right? He said he's put everybody and said, come show me a bit of evidence, a photo, a video, any testimony of anybody. They haven't been able to prove anything. So in a real country, with like the United States has a justice system, he would have just been able to walk scot-free and he would have been cleared. And then he could have sued for the defamation of his character. He said there's never been, first of all, and he would like to see somebody ever testify in front of him, in front of a tribunal, that he ever sacrificed or massacred anybody, killed anybody. He said the reason, he wants the whole world to know, the reason why they put this dossier on his back, because he's fighting against a corrupt system. That's it.
Quand on paquet journalistes, quand on médias corrompus, quand politiciens corrompus, quand on paquet oligarques corrompus.
The oligarchs, the journalists, the politicians, he's fighting against all of them, and so they're always going to say these things about him.
Raison que l'aime dénoncer ce système là. 12 familles qui contrôlent toute richesse à Haïti. Là nous dénoncer, c'est 5% monde qui contrôle 95% richesse pays. Ça fait moun qui gen kob yo mal, yo utiliser système là pour détruire caractère dans le monde.
Those 12 families that have a monopoly on everything in here, where the 5% basically run everything and the 95% have no say, no rights, no justice, nothing.
It's interesting because Lamar, you know,
Lamar Sanjou.
Lamar Sanjou has $1 million on his head.
Yeah, he said Lamar Sanjou gon $1 million sous tête li. Right? Vida Lom has 2 million.
You, nothing.
You, zero.
We're about to go on patrol with the Kenyan police here in Port-au-Prince, where gangs control large parts of the city. The Kenyans are here to support the Haitian police in securing the city.
After crossing the streets that are full of life, just after the Supreme Court of Haiti, everything changes.
Before, this place was inaccessible. No one could have crossed where we are right now. But now, as you can see, the street is open, but most likely we may be shot at.
We're entering a wasteland. Clear signs of fierce fighting, destroyed and burned out houses, looted businesses. Gangs could still be hiding in the buildings. This part of the city is deserted. The UN says more than 700,000 people have been displaced. They fled when the gangs started spreading terror, burning down houses, killing indiscriminately, raping women and girls. These are barricades the gangs erect to keep the police out of their territory. They pose a major challenge. Often they use shipping containers stolen from the port. Part of the Kenyans' job is to remove them by pushing them with their armored vehicle.
So we are going to push them right now so that you can see what we usually do.
A few meters before we reach the barricade, we see people running.
Those are civilians, they start running away because they know a shootout may begin any time. Is it moving?
Something hits the hatch above us. The smell of petrol engulfs us.
As you can see,
It's raining already.
petrol is still dripping inside this vehicle. They're still here, so they could still fire at us.
Look there.
Instead, the burning Molotov just misses our accompanying vehicle. They target the rest of the convoy, shooting from abandoned buildings. The Kenyan forces in the second vehicle fire back. Meanwhile, the commander is getting information from his drone operator.
Mike 2, Echo 1.
He warns they're preparing to throw more petrol on us.
It told us actually they have started positioning themselves with bigger containers than these ones, bigger ones. That is 5 liters and above. So that when you go just below the building, they pour the fuel on us and then they burn. This was like a sign of a warning.
Not long ago, Mugo was inside this vehicle when it was attacked and set alight, but they escaped unharmed.
If we go there, they might burn us right now. So going there, it needs a lot of planning. As for now, we cannot go back there.
On the other side of the barricades, we see people running, likely gang members. We have to move quickly. Passing by some civilians who are still living here, despite the constant risk. And another not too subtle warning left by the gangs: human skulls.
The skulls are usually elected there in order to intimidate us, like sending a message, hey, don't make an attempt of coming through this street. We are here. But then we cannot be intimidated by such stuff. We have seen worse things than those.
The Kenyans selected for this mission have seen action in the border region between Kenya and Somalia, battling the Islamist militants of Al-Shabaab. We arrive at the seaport, a crucial lifeline for Haiti, bringing goods, medicine and food into the country. It was one of the first locations the Kenyans secured after their arrival. But when I want to film across the bay,
Snipers everywhere.
it becomes clear, secured, but not fully safe.
We're here at the port port in Port-au-Prince, and that is where the Kenyan police regained control in July. So it is partly operational, but not fully yet. And as you can see, across the bay is where the gangs still control the territory, and they sometimes shoot across the bay. And just a few days ago, they shot a dock worker here on this side. So it's still highly dangerous to be here.
It's very dangerous. It's dangerous, of course it is. But then we have to keep on pressing on. We cannot leave the gangs to control the area. But then the problem is the Haitians really need help from the international community. We need to have people supporting us. We need more equipment so that we can be able to push on and on to make sure that the place is safe for the civilian.
Himmler Rebu is the former head of special forces of the Haitian military and former government minister. He says the job should be done by a professional army, not foreigners, fighting the gangs house to house and not from inside vehicles that are not compatible for urban combat.
It's a joke. They don't have the manpower, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the aerial means, they don't have the maritime means, they don't have the means to move by land. So they are tourists.
We managed to talk anonymously with officers from the Haitian police. Every day they're out either alone or together with the Kenyans. But they're not too happy about them.
Since they have arrived, they usually don't really want to enter the risk zones, the hot zones. They often tend to retreat. They often tend to return to their base.
They hope in the coming months the Kenyans will be more offensive in fighting the gangs. Kenya's pledge to send another 600 officers may fill part of the need, but Haitian police officers tell us that with only limited knowledge of the local context, the new arrivals will still struggle. And the Kenyans, they say to achieve more security, they need the promised international support.
So guys, thank you for looking at the videos up to this point, watching the videos up to this point. In the first interview, you can see the YouTuber, he got a closer chance of interviewing Barbecue. Barbecue, is a former police officer who turned into now a gang leader. There have been some dossiers that have been placed saying that he has been killing people, he has been burning people alive, and doing other crimes. But looking at the FBI most wanted list, there's no bounty on his head. But some of the gang leaders in Haiti have bounty on their head. There's some millions of dollars that have been placed on their heads in case they are caught. Whoever brings them or catches them and takes them to FBI, they have some good reward. But when you look at Barbecue, there's no bounty that has been placed on his head. Also in the interview, he is saying that for all this problem to end, he is calling for dialogue. He's saying that dialogue. I don't know what are your views, guys, because there's a lot of trouble in Haiti. The trouble in Haiti is really something else. And there are some people saying that this problem was created by some of the multinationals, that is the United States and France. So France, like the United States being the biggest supporter of this mission, sending, supporting Kenyans and Jamaicans who are there, they are saying that the Kenyans and the Jamaicans who are there are puppets. They are just puppets of the United States. On the other hand, what the gangs are doing, like the forces that are there, have been able to do some good job. They have at least been able to clear, though it has not been fully. They have not cleared fully. You can see what the gangs are doing. They're using means like they're using things like containers, placing containers on the road, and petrol cans. They're throwing petrol cans at some of these vehicles. And the Jamaican forces, the Kenyan forces, and all the Kenyan forces maintaining peace, they lack equipment. This is why some of the like the interview that was done by DW, one of the former soldier in Haiti says that these guys, need to have proper equipment. Otherwise, they're just there as tourists because they're not doing so much. You can see the Haitian police saying that the Kenyan forces and the Jamaican forces and all the forces that are maintaining peace, they are not doing much because they're not that tough. They're not going in and removing them. They just like when they see that the force is so tough, they tend to retreat and go back to their camp. And also, you can see in the port, it is not that clear. They have not cleared, even though they have taken one part, the other part is still managed by gangs. And there are snipers that are situated around there. They recently killed one of the dock workers. They need to be supported, but at the same time, this thing needs